Too many people are stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and negativity because they are too focused on the world outside of them instead of looking within. Every day they wake up and immediately compare themselves to others. They scroll through their phones looking at someone else's success, someone else's lifestyle, someone else's progress, and then they start questioning their own journey. They start feeling like they're behind, like they're not doing enough, like they'll never catch up. But here's the truth. The only person you should ever be competing with is the person you were yesterday. When you make the shift to focusing on yourself, everything changes. The problem is most people don't even realize they are stuck in this mindset. They don't realize that every time they measure their progress against someone else's timeline, they are robbing themselves of joy, confidence, and clarity. Because let's be real, there is always going to be someone ahead of you, someone younger, richer, stronger, more successful. If you measure your life based on where other people are, you will always feel like you're losing, and that's the trap. That's the cycle that keeps people feeling negative, stuck, and frustrated. You have to shift your perspective. You have to wake up every single day and ask yourself, how can I be better than I was yesterday? That's the only metric that matters. Not what your friends are doing, not what social media is showing you, not what your coworkers are achieving. Just you is you. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one who can control your growth, your success, your mindset, your development. It's all in your hands. Negative feelings don't come from the outside world. They come from within. And that's the best news ever. Why? Because if they come from within, that means you have the power to change them. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not stuck with the way you feel. You have the ability to take control of your mindset and redirect your focus. The question is, are you willing to do the work? Because it takes work. It takes effort to stop yourself in the middle of a negative thought and say, no, I'm not going to think this way. It takes discipline to remind yourself every day that you are not in competition with anyone else. It takes self-awareness to recognize when you are slipping into comparison and snap yourself out of it. But if you want to take control of your life, if you want to overcome negativity, if you want to grow into the best version of yourself, this is the work you need to do. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that they will feel better once they achieve certain things. They think, once I get that job, I'll feel confident. Once I lose this weight, I'll be happy. Once I make more money, I'll feel successful. But that's an illusion. External achievements will never fix internal problems. If you don't learn how to focus on yourself and build a strong mindset now, nothing you achieve will ever be enough. This is why you see people who seem to have it all still struggle with self-doubt and negativity. Celebrities, athletes, business moguls, they reach the top and many of them still feel empty because confidence, happiness, and self-worth don't come from the outside, they come from within. And until you start focusing on your own growth, your own mindset, and your own progress, you will always feel like something is missing. You need to start measuring success differently. Instead of asking, am I as successful as them? Start asking, am I better than I was yesterday? Did you learn something new today? Did you push yourself outside of your comfort zone? Did you take one step towards your goals? That's success, that's growth, and that's all that matters. Too many people are wasting time looking at the path someone else is walking instead of focusing on their own journey. But here's what you need to understand. Your path is yours alone. No one else has lived your life. No one else has faced your struggles, fought your battles, or overcome your challenges. So why would you compare your journey to someone else's? You are running a race that only you can run. And the second you stop looking at other lanes and focus on your own, you will start moving faster than ever. This is why focusing on yourself is so powerful. It frees you. It lifts the weight of comparison off your shoulder. It allows you to grow without feeling like you're in a constant race with the rest of the world. Because the truth is, you are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. And the only thing that matters is that you keep moving forward. Most people don't realize how much time and energy they waste worrying about things that don't matter. They stress over what other people think. They compare themselves to strangers on the internet. They let self-doubt hold them back from taking action. But if they took all that energy and redirected it toward their own growth, their own goals, their own mindset, they would be unstoppable. It all comes down to a choice. Every day, you have the choice to focus on yourself or to get distracted by what everyone else is doing. You have the choice to build yourself up or to tear yourself down with negative thoughts. You have the choice to believe in yourself or to let doubt control your mind. And here's the truth. No one is going to do this for you. No one is going to come into your life and magically erase your insecurities, your doubts, or your negative thoughts. It's on you. You have to decide to focus on yourself. You have to decide to work on your mindset. You have to decide to take control of your thoughts. Because the second you do, everything changes. The second you stop worrying about other people and start focusing on your own growth, you will feel a shift. You will feel more confident, more powerful, more in control. And once you taste that feeling, you will never go back. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, yet most people let it work against them instead of for them. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold on to, and every perspective you choose to adopt shapes your reality. If you allow negativity to take over, if you let doubt, fear, insecurity dictate your action, then your life will reflect that. But if you learn how to take control of your thoughts, if you learn how to rewire your mindset, then there is absolutely nothing you cannot achieve. It all starts in your mind. The way you think determines the way you feel, and the way you feel determines the way you act. If you wake up every morning and immediately think about everything that's wrong, everything you don't have, everything that's not going your way, then you will spend your day in a negative state. And when you operate from a negative state, you won't take the actions necessary to move forward. You'll hesitate, you'll procrastinate, you'll make excuses, and before you know it, another day, another week, another year will pass, and you'll still be in the same place. That's what happens when you let your emotions control you. That's what happens when you let your feelings dictate your actions. But here's the thing. Your feelings are not facts. Your emotions are temporary, but your decisions create permanent results. Just because you don't feel like doing something doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Just because you don't feel confident doesn't mean you aren't capable. Just because you feel like giving up doesn't mean you should stop. Too many people let their emotions run their lives, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. They think motivation is the key, but motivation is fleeting. Motivation is unreliable. It's great when it's there, but what happens on the days when you don't feel motivated? What happens when you wake up and don't feel like working out, don't feel like studying, don't feel like pushing yourself? If you rely on motivation, you will never be consistent, and without consistency, you will never build momentum. And without momentum, you will never reach your full potential. Discipline is the answer. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline is showing up for yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel. Because your success, your growth, your progress, it don't care about your feelings. Success doesn't care if you're tired. Success doesn't care if you're in a bad mood. Success doesn't care if you had a rough day. It only responds to effort, consistency, and persistence. That's why the people who win in life aren't the ones who always feel like showing up. They're the ones who show up no matter what. They're the ones who put in the work even on the days when they don't feel like it. They're the ones who push through self-doubt, fear, negativity, and keep moving forward. Your emotions will lie to you. Your mind will try to talk you out of doing the things you know you need to do. You will hear that voice in your head telling you to sleep in, to take it easy, to put it off until tomorrow. But you'll have to learn how to override that voice. You have to learn how to recognize when your emotions are trying to control you and shut them down. Because the truth is, the more you let your feelings dictate your actions, the weaker you become. Every time you give in to laziness, you make it harder to break the cycle. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you reinforce the habit of settling. And the more you reinforce that habit, the harder it becomes to change. But here's the good news. Just like you can train your body in the gym, you can train your mind to be stronger. You can train yourself to push through discomfort, to take action despite fear, to stay disciplined no matter how you feel. It's not easy, but it's possible. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. The more you force yourself to take action, even when you don't feel like it, the more it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it becomes who you are. You no longer need motivation because you built discipline. You no longer rely on inspiration because you've developed a mindset that refuses to accept excuses. The difference between the people who succeed and the people is the ability to do the hard things, the uncomfortable things, the necessary things, whether they feel like it or not. It's the ability to keep going, keep grinding, keep pushing forward, even when the results aren't showing yet. It's the ability to wake up every single day and commit to the process, regardless of how long it takes. Because that's the key. Staying committed even when progress is slow, even when the journey feels exhausting, even when doubt creeps in. Most people quit when things get hard. Most people stop when they don't see immediate results. But the ones who keep going, the ones who keep pushing, the ones who refuse to let their emotions control them, those are the ones who win. Those are the ones who separate themselves from the crowd. Your mind is your greatest asset, or it is your biggest enemy. And the best part, You get to decide which one it is. You get to decide whether you train your mind to be strong or allow it to keep you weak. You get to decide whether you develop the discipline to do what's necessary or continue making excuses. You get to decide whether you take control of your emotions or let them control you. Because at the end of the day, your feelings will never get you to your goals. Your discipline will. Life is going to test you. That's not a maybe. That's a guarantee. There will be days when everything feels like it's falling apart. There will be moments when you question whether you're strong enough, smart enough, or capable enough to keep going. You will face failure, rejection, heartbreak, setbacks, and disappointments. And when those moments come, you have two choices. Let them break you or let them build you. The problem is that most people let them build you. The problem is that most people don't see pain for what it really is. They see it as something to run from, something to avoid, something that makes them a victim. But the truth is, pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher, your greatest motivator, your greatest source of power. The people who succeed in life, the ones who rise above, the ones who achieve greatness, they aren't the ones who had it easy. They aren't the ones who never struggled, never failed, never felt lost. No, they are the ones who took their pain and used it as fuel. They are the ones who refused to let their struggles define them. They are the ones who turned every setback into a comeback, every failure into a lesson, every rejection into redirection. That's the mindset you need if you want to win. Because life is going to hit you hard. And if you don't learn how to take those hits and keep moving forward, you will never reach your full potential. Most people get stuck in their pain. Something bad happens, and instead of using it to grow, they let it consume them. They replay their failures in their minds over and over again, torturing themselves with what ifs and if onlys. They allow their past mistakes to shape their identity, convincing themselves that they are not good enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. But listen to me, you are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. What happened to you does not define you. What defines you is what you do next. What defines you is how you respond when life knocks you down. Every single person you admire, every successful person you look up to has been through pain. But the difference is they didn't let it stop them. They didn't let it become an excuse. They took their pain and turned it into power. They used their struggles as fuel to push harder, work smarter, and grow stronger. That's the mindset you need to develop. You need to look at every challenge, every obstacle, every failure, and ask yourself, how can I use this? Because there is always something to be gained from pain. There is always a lesson, always an opportunity, always a way to turn it into strength. Think about it. When you go to the gym and lift weights, what are you doing? You are literally breaking down your muscles so that they can rebuild stronger. That's how growth works. It requires resistance. It requires struggle. It requires pain, and your mind works the same way. The challenges you face, the hardships you endure, they are breaking down the weak parts of you so that you can rebuild stronger, but only if you let them. Only if you stop seeing pain as a punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Because everything you are going through right now, every challenge, every setback, every failure, it is all shaping you for something greater. But here's the thing, most people never get to that greater version of themselves because they quit too soon. They let pain convince them that they are not meant for more. They let struggle convince them that they should stop trying. They let fear keep them stuck in the same place, never pushing forward, never growing, never reaching their full potential. But pain is not a sign that you should stop. It's a sign that you are on the right path. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is painful. But staying the same, that's suffering. And if you are going to suffer, suffer for something worth it. Suffer for your dream. Suffer for your goal. Suffer for the future version of yourself that is waiting on you to step up. You have to start seeing yourself as someone who can handle anything. Because the truth is, you can. You have already survived 100% of your worst days. You have already made it through things you thought would break you. And you are still here. That means you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. That means you are capable of more than you think. That means you have everything you need inside of you to push through whatever you are facing right now. But you have to decide. You have to decide that you are not going to let pain break you. You have to decide that you are going to use it, that you are going to turn it into fuel, that you are going to take every ounce of negativity and use it as energy to propel yourself forward. Because pain can do one or two things. It can paralyze you or it can push you. It can keep you stuck or it can make you unstoppable. The choice is yours. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Nobody is coming to save you. That's the truth most people don't want to hear, but it's the truth that will set you free. Too many people spend their entire lives waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for the perfect moment to start. But the longer you wait, the more time you waste. You don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need validation from anyone to become the person you were meant to be. Everything you need is already inside of you, but you have to make the decision to step up and take full responsibility for your life. Most people don't take responsibility because it's easier to blame other people, circumstances, or bad luck. It's easier to say, I didn't get the promotion because my boss doesn't like me, than to admit I need to develop better skills. It's easier to say, I can't be successful because I wasn't born into wealth, than to admit I need to work harder and smarter to create my own opportunities. Blame is a defense mechanism. It makes you feel better about where you are, but it also keeps you stuck. Because as long as you believe your problems are someone else's fault, you are giving away your power. When you blame other people or external circumstances for where you are in life, you are saying that you have no control. You are saying that your future is in the hands of someone else. But that's a lie. You have control. You have power. You have the ability to change your situation at any moment. But you will never tap into that power until you take full responsibility for your life. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up for past mistakes. It doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. It simply means recognizing that from this moment forward, your success, your happiness, and your future are up to you. Nobody else. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends, not society, you. Because nobody's gonna wake you up in the morning and force you to chase your goals. Nobody's gonna make sure you stay disciplined. Nobody's gonna hand you the life you want. If you don't do it for yourself, it will never happen. Most people live their lives reacting to whatever happens to them. They wake up, go through the motions, and let the day control them instead of taking control of the day. They let their circumstances dictate their actions instead of deciding what kind of life they want to create. But successful people don't live like that. Successful people don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They don't sit around hoping things will get better. They take action to make things better. They don't make excuses, they make progress. Taking responsibility means owning every part of your life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It means looking at your situation honestly and asking yourself, what can I do to change this? It means understanding that even if something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to fix it. You didn't choose your past, but you are responsible for your future. You didn't choose to be born into struggle, but you are responsible for rising above it. You didn't choose every obstacle in your path, but you are responsible for overcoming them. This is why so many people stay stuck. Because responsibility is heavy. It's hard to look in the mirror and admit that you are the reason you haven't achieved what you want. It's hard to admit that you could be doing more, that you could be trying harder, that you could be making better choices. But that's the first step to real growth. Because the moment you take responsibility, you take back your power. The moment you stop blaming, you start building. You have to develop the mindset that no matter what happens, you are going to find a way. No matter how many times you fail, you are going to get back up. No matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you are going to break through them. You have to decide that there is no plan B, because your only option is to make it happen. And once you make that decision, everything changes. Because when you stop waiting for things to change and start taking action, you stop feeling powerless. You stop feeling like a victim. You stop doubting yourself. Most people want success, but they don't want responsibility. They want financial freedom, but they don't want to be responsible for managing their money. They want a great body, but they don't want to be responsible for their diet and exercise. They want happiness, but they don't want to be responsible for their mindset. But you cannot separate success from responsibility. If you want a better life, you have to take responsibility for creating it. This applies to every area of your life. If you are unhappy with your job, it's your responsibility to either improve your skills, find a new job, or start your own business. If you are unhappy with your body, it's your responsibility to change your habits, fix your diet, and commit to a workout routine. If you are unhappy with your relationships, it's your responsibility to improve your communication, set better boundaries, and surround yourself with better people. Nobody is going to do this for you. And the longer you wait for someone else to fix your life, the more time you waste. It's not always fair. Life isn't fair. Some people start with more advantages. Some people have it easier. But fairness doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with what you have. What matters is whether you are willing to put in the work, take control, and stop making excuses. Because at the end of the day, the people who win in life are the ones who take full responsibility for everything in their lives The ones who refuse to wait, the ones who refuse to blame, the ones who refuse to let anything stop them from getting where they want to go. Most people go through life seeking validation. They look for approval in everything they do. They want to be accepted, appreciated, and recognized. They measure their worth based on how other people see them. And because of that, they hesitate. They hold back. They let the opinions of others dictate their choices. They live their lives trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for them. But here's the truth. If you live for the approval of others, you will die with regret. Because the more you try to please everyone else, the more you lose yourself. The more you conform to what others expect, the further you drift from who you really are. And one day you will wake up and realize that you spent your whole life trying to be someone you never wanted to be. Most people are afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to stand out, to be different, to take a path that others don't understand. Why? Because they fear judgment. They fear criticism. They fear being rejected. But you have to understand something. No matter what you do, people will always have something to say. If you chase your dreams, they will criticize you. If you stay where you are, they will judge you. If you succeed, they will talk about you. If you fail, they will laugh at you. So if people are going to talk anyway, why not give them something to talk about? Why not do what makes you happy? Why not live life on your own terms? Too many people waste their potential because they are too busy worrying about what others think. They have dreams, but they never pursue them because they are afraid of being judged. They have ideas, but they never share them because they fear rejection. They want to take risks, but they never do because they are too concerned with looking foolish. And in the end, they settle for a life that is far below what they are capable of. But here's the truth. People's opinions do not pay your bills. They do not create your success. They do not determine your happiness. And yet, most people let those opinions control them. The moment you stop caring about what other people think is the moment you take back control of your life. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start living freely. Because when you stop looking for approval, you start making choices based on what you truly want. You start doing things that actually fulfill you instead of things that just impress others. You start living with confidence instead of constantly doubting yourself. And that's when real success happens. That's when you become unstoppable. Think about the most successful people in the world, the visionaries, the innovators, the leaders. Do you think they got to where they are by playing it safe, by seeking validation, by worrying about what everyone else thought? No. They got there because they dared to be different, because they refused to conform, because they were willing to stand alone even when no one believed in them. And that's the mindset you need to develop if you want to reach your full potential. You have to stop looking for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to go after your dream. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. Stop hesitating because you're afraid of what people might say. Because the truth is, nobody cares as much as you think they do. Everyone is too busy worrying about their own lives to be focused on yours. And even if they do have opinions about you, so what? Their opinions do not change your reality. Their opinions do not define you. The only thing that defines you is what you choose to do with your life. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to be doubted. You have to be willing to take risks, even when people don't support you. Because if you live your life trying to avoid criticism, you will never accomplish anything worthwhile. The only way to avoid criticism is to do nothing, be nothing, and say nothing. But that's not who you were meant to be. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to be bold. You were meant to create, to lead, to inspire. But you cannot do that if you are constantly seeking approval. The strongest people in this world are not the ones who never face criticism. They are the ones who face it and keep going anyway. They are the ones who stay true to themselves no matter what. They are the ones who understand that their purpose is greater than people's opinions, and that their dreams are bigger than their fears, that their potential is too valuable to be wasted on trying to fit in. And that's the mindset you need to develop. You need to start asking yourself, am I living for myself or am I living for others? Am I making choices that make me happy or am I making choices that make others comfortable? Am I pursuing what I truly want or am I settling for what is expected of me? Because if you are not living for yourself, then who are you really living for? At the end of the day, nobody else has to live with your choices except you. Nobody else has to wake up every morning and face your reality except you. So why should anyone else's opinion matter more than your own? Why should you let fear of judgment hold you back from your dreams? Why should you waste your potential trying to please people who wouldn't even notice if you fail? You have to decide that your life belongs to you, that your dreams are worth chasing, that your happiness is worth prioritizing, and that you are done living for other people. Because the moment you make that decision, everything changes. The moment you stop seeking validation, you become unstoppable. The moment you realize that you don't need anyone's approval to be great, you step into your power. And that's when you finally start living the life you were meant to live.